Welcome to our podcast, the best sports podcast on the net today. Listen to the Breakdown Everything Mets. From off-season news, Mets trade rumors, in-game reactions during the season. You can now listen to our show Monday, Friday at 8 p.m., while also listen on weekends at 8 a.m. To learn more, check out our website at www.MetsXMFanZone.com. While don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and get back into the Mets groove all season long. Welcome to our podcast, the best sports podcast on the net today. Listen to the Breakdown Everything Mets. From off-season news, Mets trade rumors, in-game reactions during the season. You can now listen to our show Monday, Friday at 8 p.m., while also listen on weekends at 8 a.m. To learn more, check out our website at www.MetsXMFanZone.com. While don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and get back into the Mets groove all season long.
Hello and welcome to MetsXMFanZone Live Podcast. I am your host, Anthony Gennaro. We're here to give you guys all of your latest live streams, news feeds, and much, much more. But you're wondering why am I on so early in the morning? It is 8. It's 8:15 in the early morning, and we are going to be giving you guys some Mets news. If you guys love our videos, please always tweet, like, and subscribe. And also, if you guys are going to work right now, put us on the podcast. Go to Amazon Music, go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcasts. You name it. If you go onto those, you can listen to us on the radio and just driving as you guys are going. Again, if you guys love our shows, please always tweet, like, and subscribe. And also, you could also listen to us on YouTube. So you just put it on YouTube, put us on the car, ready to go. So because we got some news for you guys early this morning. If you guys love it, you guys are going to love every bit of our shows. So also, plus don't forget to hit the push notification if you're going on YouTube, so that way you don't miss a moment of our shows. Because when we go live almost Monday to Friday. We upload on the weekends, and we upload 3 times. We basically upload every time our show ends, so you guys won't miss a moment of our shows. So we got some news for you guys today. We're going to be talking about Mets eyeing Andrew McCutchen. This could be a move that the Mets are looking to do. Also, the Mets are looking at Trey Turner. I think that's also another move. I'm a little skeptical on that. I'm not too sure how I feel on the Mets Trey Turner thing. And also, Yankees and Mets are not looking to pursue in Trevor Bauer. I just don't understand why this is even a story. First of all, the man, he's not a good guy. So I think he would be much of a disease if the Mets actually brought him in. But I'll get a little bit more in depth as the show goes on this one. And then we're going to give you guys my live reactions on Carlos Carrera being signed with the Twins. Me personally, I don't understand that one. I mean, I was reading the reports, and I was like, what's going on here? Why did he not sign with the New York Mets? And I was reported it yesterday on here on the show. We were talking about it. So I'm a little skeptical on that one also as well. But we got all that to cover. So please stay through the whole show. Listen to everything. And tonight, I'm also going to be doing a show tonight at 8 p.m. So if you guys, we're going to do a Q&A. A majority of that show tonight will be a Q&A. I mean, I will go over some stories throughout the day. We're not doing a 12 o'clock show today, but we are going to be doing our 8 p.m. show. So I'm kind of making it up. I'm kind of doing the early morning now for you guys. So All right, let's get into our first story. So we got the Mets eyeing Andrew McCutchen. What's the deal with that? And are the Mets really looking to pursue in this guy? So, as of what I'm hearing throughout the night, we heard that this is a guy that the Mets are really focused on getting. I don't think that it's a big concern, because then you're going to be putting him there in the outfield. So it's like, can he be that guy to that the Mets could get that insurance outfielder? I mean, you could use him. He's a good backup. I don't think he's a guy like he used to be. I mean, he's been bouncing around for quite a while. He's with San Francisco. I mean, that was the last of where I known. He was with the Padres. So I mean, where do I see where is this actually going to go, in my honest opinion? And I don't think that the Mets want to really go with a backup, because you need big bats here. You need that big bat at the DH role, and I don't think that Daniel Vogelbach could be that guy to really stand out and really put the Mets over the top and gain extra insurance runs. The guy strikes out way too often. He's not going to be a folk hero. I understand that, Met fans like the guy, because, he's a guy that the Mets love. The Mets want to love that guy that's going to put the Mets over the top. He's not that over the top guy. And the Met fans are more appreciative when we do actually get a good, valuable team. And listen, they're like, Met fans are like Yankee fans also too. They're weather fans. So when this team gets good, that's when the fans come out to play. And it's the same thing with Yankees. Same thing with Yankee fans. We got 26 World Series. We got 28 World Series. And they like to showboat it. We showboat it too. We showboat it when the team actually starts getting good again. We did it back in 08. We did it back in 06. Did it back in 2015 when the Mets were good in 2015. So, I mean, going forward, I think the Mets are going to be really good. And they look really good on paper. I like to see Mark Canha have a better, decent season. I want to see Francisco Alvarez have a good season. So there are guys that I feel will stand out in the 2023 season. Could Trevor Bauer be? We don't need Trevor Bauer. Why would the Mets even want to try to even look at a guy like Trevor Bauer? I know, like, according to sources, either a trade by Friday deadline or as a free agent. This guy is not going anywhere. Why would you want it? Why would you even want to cancel? The Mets had cancers in the past. Why would you honestly even want that? And the Yankees want to dodge a bullet, because the Yankees don't even want to do a deal like that either. The Yankees won't even consider him. Bad enough that the Yankees got Garrett Cole. Why would the Yankees want to do something like that? Why would even the Mets want to even try to consider that? Granted, yeah, could he be a good pitcher? Trevor Bauer, he was a good pitcher. I'm not even going to deny that. I'm not even going to say on how good of a pitcher he was when he was out there playing for the Dodgers. But the Dodgers are like, listen, you know what? We don't need a guy like you to come in and destruct the team. We need team players. And could the Mets pick up a guy like him? Yeah, the Mets could have picked up a guy like him in his prime. But I feel that, a player, if he did something wrong, I do feel that they deserve a second chance, because, listen, that's like me going to jail. I go to jail, and then I come out of jail, and it's like, I want a second chance in life. I reformed. I want to go out there and I want to reform life. You know, I come in here, I do my time, and then when I get out, I want to better my life. I made mistakes. Let's better my life. And then you look at it and you go, wow. You see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I feel bad for Trevor Bauer. I think he should deserve a second chance. And I believe he will get a second chance. Just not in a big market like LA or New York. Maybe Florida. I mean, that's a fighting chance that the Marlins could pick up Trevor Bauer. I just feel that he had 194 game suspension. Major League Baseball reinstated him. So it's like, where do you go from there? I would like to see him be reformed. I would like to see him pitch, be good. It's just a matter of time. Just not in the New York market. Not in the LA market. Maybe Chicago, if you really want to go there. Or maybe like the Padres. Maybe San Francisco. Just not in a New York market or an LA market. And you know what? You know what I honestly find? I find that this shouldn't even be a thought in the Mets' mind. But you never know. But I just don't see him coming to the New York Mets. Or the Dodgers. Now, here was another story that I really found pretty interesting. With Trey Turner. And the New York Mets reportedly wanting to bring in Trey Turner as a center fielder. So now, what I don't understand here is that why would you want to put Trey Turner as a center fielder where you already signed Brandon Nimmo? Why would you even move Brandon Nimmo? I would move Trey Turner, not Brandon Nimmo. So if the Mets are going to make a move here, I definitely wouldn't Trey. I definitely wouldn't move Brandon Nimmo. I would move Trey Turner to left field, let him play there. Maybe what I would do is put Mark Canha on the bench. Don't get me wrong. I think Mark Canha is actually a really good player. He's good defensively. He's not good offensively. But he would be a guy I would sit down on the bench. I mean, it sounds pretty realistic. I mean, we do know that the Mets were deeply serious on this interest. And they're really interested in doing this. But instead, he signed to a $11 million, $300 million contract to 11 years with the Philadelphia Phillies. So I don't know on how I actually feel about that. Would the Mets even pick him up? But they're so interested. And funny here is that I was looking at the Trey Turner stats. He played 45 games in center field for the Washington Nationals in his rookie season. And that was in 2016, before the club even thought about putting him as a shortstop. He has not played, but he's not played an inning in outfield. So what I don't understand is why play him outfield See, this is the problem with Major League Baseball and problem with, shifting play. Listen, if I'd never played center field in my goddamn life, what makes you think that I'm going to go out there and play center fielder? It sounds realistic. It doesn't sound. It doesn't sound like a player. What if I was a center fielder and I was told, hey, play second? So you're telling me it's going to make me. I have to take about 16 weeks of my life to learn second base, where I've never played second base in my life. Why should these players constantly keep transitioning to positions that they'd never played before? Now I gotta go 6 to 8 weeks in spring training, or even before spring training. Now I gotta go learn a new position. Major League Baseball needs to stop. Teams need to stop doing that. Hey, can you go learn me center field? Just because I need you, because you know what? You're a value to me. Stop that. Why do we constantly need to keep doing that? And then if he's same for argument's sake, he drops the ball 20 times out of his 110 starts in that position. It doesn't look good. And it doesn't even look good for the player, too. So why don't we stop doing that? Just like we now finally stopped the shift. That was so stupid. With that shift too. Now players can now hit the opposite field if they need to. Yeah, well, most of them already know it. But you might see it. But you can no longer take a second baseman out in the outfield. I thought that was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I never liked it. And you're like, oh, you see Jeff McNeil in the like halfway in the outfield. What do you got an outfielder for then? Makes no sense. You're gonna play Sterling. You're gonna play Sterling Marte all the way in the back of the field, where now you're gonna put Jeff McNeil halfway midpoint at center, at right field. It just, to me, it makes no sense. Absolutely makes any sense. And that's like keeping having Escobar out there or Francisco Lindor out there. So they finally got rid of that. You won't see that going in 2023 season. It just makes me laugh. That's like, to me, that's like putting Brendan Nimmo and playing him first base. Pete Alonso DHing. It's like, are you kidding me? Seriously? Why these players need to constantly keep switching positions where they shouldn't? Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, man. So I don't see the Mets doing that as much as they like Trey Turner. We don't need Trey Turner. I feel that the Mets are fine without him. But who I really do think that the Mets should get is Trey Mancini. Now, Trey Mancini sounds more realistic because you could put him as a DH. DH him, and we know how good his stats are. Trey Mancini had a .291 batting average. That's pretty good. And I know I was looking at his stats here, and he's been he batted .291 in the beginning of the season. Batted .247 towards the end of the season. But you know what? The Mets need to give up Darren Ruff, bum, Daniel Vogelbach, bum. We don't need them. Two guys that should not be on this ball club. And I believe that Mancini he's not that much older. He's only 31 years old. And him playing for Baltimore, he had a good season. Not a great season, but he had a good season. But I feel bad for the guy. I think the guy has actually stage 3 colon cancer. By the way, he can reverse colon cancer by going on a carnivore diet. I feel, which I know I'm going into this health guru shit because I did it. I tell you guys one thing. I went from 290 to now 165, and I did that within 2 years on a carnivore diet. All you do is eat beef, butter. I don't really recommend eggs. But beef, butter, steak. If you want to do a cheat day, you could do a cheat day. And stay active. Stop sitting. Stay active. But I feel bad for the guy. Seems like a really nice guy. And he was put on a shelf for a while too. But I do feel that he would make a really good addition to this ball club. And now let's go into another story, which I'm going to give you guys my reaction on the Carlos Correa news here for just a moment. Now, the New York Mets in the offseason signed Carlos Correa to a 12-year deal, $350 million agreement for the shortstop Carlos Correa. Now, Correa agreed to go into third base. But the Mets I think they were a little skeptical on his medicals. And that's why the Giants kind of withdraw from the deal, because they had a feeling that there was some issues with him being unhonest about his medicals. And that was the problem. The problem was him not being honest and being upfront with what's going on with him. Now that we have learned a development that this guy not only has plate in his leg, he's got screw in his legs, but he was also taking performance-enhancing drugs. Which we don't know on how true that is. It has been rumored to be that he was taking substances. But you know what? I feel, in my honest opinion, I've heard stories, these doctors prescribe medications to these players, for unrelated, undiagnosed conditions. Say for argument's sake, your foot has been killing you for months. All of a sudden, you go to the doctors, you're taking these medications, and then when Major League Baseball is looking at you, or even a team for that matter, now they're going to go and suspend you because you're taking medications for a foot where it could be a sterile drug. And then it's like, okay, now I'm getting fined for something that I have no control of. Why don't you go and blame the doctor? Why you got to come here and blame me and fine me something amount of days where I'm not trying to do it on purpose. I'm sure some of these guys are not doing that on purpose, when they're taking drugs. But some of these drugs are cortisone shots or even a steroid shot. Don't people understand what a performance-enhancing drug is? It's like they're giving a drug. Sometimes when you're in pain, you get shots. And then they find that, oh, well, you're taking some performance-enhancing drugs. No, majority of the time, they're not doing that. Majority of the time, they're getting prescribed by a doctor some medications, and then it might come out as a negative because of the drug that you're taking. You honestly believe that a player wants to take an enhancing drug on purpose? No. I know when I was taking a medication for my shoulder. You know, and that there could be a steroid. And could be it could not be a positive. It'll go right into a negative. So I see here is that with Carrera, I think there's a little bit more here to the story. There's a little more here with what we are hearing and what we are knowing with it. You know, he's got to go pending a physical with the Twins, and I think the Twins are just going to get him anyway and sign him and keep him because he's got nowhere else to go. So, but he also played too, so I don't understand it either. It just sounds really stupid. But he's no longer with the Mets, and now the Mets got an alternative move here. They can either go get Trey Turner, Andrew McCutcheon. I think. And tonight, I'm going to go over a list of guys that I find that could be a good, valuable play here for the Mets. But they just need that one big bat. Now, the Mets can make some moves. They could make a few moves. They could do 3 moves if they really could. They could either package Daniel Vogelbach, Darren Roth, Mark Hanna. They could make a package somewhere there. You don't want to give up any of your prospects because you're definitely going to have Escobar and Brett Beatty. And if it wasn't for Carlos Carrera's deal not falling through, Escobar and Brett Beatty would have been gone. And then what? It's like, then what? I look at it this way, backup of a backup of a backup. You need guys to come in, and the Mets are starting just to fill up some roster, so that way you can have a backup of a backup of a backup. So you have Nimmo. You got McCutcheon. You could probably get another guy. So it's that's how I would go with it. Every position should be 2 backups. 2 extra backups. And then you go with your rookies. Brett Beatty. I like Brett Beatty. I don't see him ready quite just yet. Got a nice swing, but I don't feel that he's ready just yet. But we'll see what happens. And if we're ready, to, move forward, we'll move forward with Brett Beatty. You're going to see him. You'll definitely see him play. And just like Francisco Alvarez. Man, he's exciting to me. I love watching him. I was watching video on him last night, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch video. I'm going to talk about it in tonight's show. Give you guys my reaction of him. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up some video here on the stream tonight and give you guys my reactions on the swing and delivery and everything. But we will be talking about that tonight. So, if you guys love our videos, please always tweet, like, and subscribe. I want to thank you guys for the early morning show. Again, we went really early because we are not going to be doing our 12 o'clock showing. So, again, we are not going to be doing our 12 o'clock show. But I'm glad to do our show early this morning. If you guys love it, tweet, like, subscribe. After our show, it will be uploaded so you guys can listen to it on all major platforms, on Amazon Music, Spotify, Iheart Radio, and Apple Podcast. And of course, you guys can always go to YouTube and listen to and watch our show on there. And plus, we're always live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Tweet, like, subscribe. Check out our website for more details of our shows, as always, by going to MetsXMFanZone.com. We want to thank SB Sports Athletics for sponsoring here in our show today. Everything that you see behind me is from SB Sports Athletics, and they are a major play and an up-and-coming company that's really working around for their merchandising. Merchandise is super good. I like it. And they have a really cool jersey feel like on shirts. Love it. I think they're going to be really good to years to come. And they do all Mets merchandising. So that's cool. But they love our show and they're proud supporters. So I want to thank you guys for watching here on our show today. Please tweet, like, subscribe. And we'll see you guys tonight at the 8 o'clock hour. Right here at MetsXMFanZone Live Podcast.